Hey everyone, Decov13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Stay Night. Alright, moving on to day 11 of Heaven's Feel today, so I say let's just jump right in. Things are, well, they weren't getting strange before, but, oh, they're getting there now. Alright, so February 10th. Beautiful 2. The blinding light. My mind and body are pushed away from the entrance by a powerful headwind. The light is so bright I can't even perceive its source. Battered by the wind, my body rusts away bit by bit. How long have I been here? An infinity that isn't even a second, and a moment close to an eternity. Time without time turns years into seconds. Thus, my long-weathered body is being polished to a mirror-like shine while it erodes away. Forward. This place is suffocating. An aimless, weightless, total vacuum. This world worn away by wind is no place for a person to be. That's why I kept going. My volume doubles with each step, and breathing and walking become harder. 1 step. 2 steps. 3 steps are already impossible. I can't go any further. The wind shoves me back when I try, wearing my body away. But if I want to escape, then I have to keep going. The wind is blowing from beyond that light. The light is an entrance and an exit. This place is suffocating. So I need to hurry to the other side. If I can go through the entrance, the wind will be even stronger. If I can go through the exit, this suffering will ease. I reach out. I reach out with all my might. The light is just ahead, but I can't reach it. The aurora blinds me. I just can't reach it. It's suffocating. Blood spills from my mouth as I reach out, but I can't touch it. Why? It's just a meter ahead of me. So why does it feel like I'm aiming for an ever-distant point in the sky?
Shiro.
The sound of my name wakes me up.
ダメよ。苦しいからって、それ取ったら死んじゃうんだから。
Ilya is staring at me.
あれ、イリア。なんで俺の部屋にいるんだ。
なんでって、私の部屋近くだもん。先に目が覚めちゃったから、シロを観察していたのでした。
Huh. Apparently Ilya was watching me sleep. That being said, she was doing it because...
もしかして俺、うなされてたのか。
そうよ。シロ、苦しそうに声を上げて、左腕の布を剥ぎ取ろうとしていたわ。まあ、きっとそうなるって思ってたから来てあげたんだけどね。シロが眠ってる間に痛み止めしといてあげたから、今は幾分楽でしょ。
I noticed that my right hand is grabbing my left arm. Talk about dodging a bullet. If Ilya hadn't come to help me, I would have torn off the shroud in my sleep.
そっか。朝からありがとな、イリア。
お礼はいいよ。私とシロの仲だもん。それに約束したでしょ。シロが苦しい時は私が助けてあげるんだって。
Her smile takes my breath away. I realize that Ilya truly came here to help me out of sheer goodwill, and feel ashamed.
それにシロの寝顔が見たかったし。苦しいのに一生懸命
I guess that thought's going out the window, huh?
シロったら可愛かったわ。
I slammed the brakes on my beating heart.
イリア、人の部屋に黙って入るのは良くない。特に朝と夜なんかもってのほかだ。俺も人並みの男だからいろいろ困る。
そうなんだ。具体的に言うとどんな風に困るのかしら。 詳しく知りたいな。
いや、だからそういう質問込みで困る。だいたいイリアは女の子なんだから、朝っぱらから男の部屋になんて入っちゃダメだ。いいか、危ないぞ。本当に危ないんだぞ。イリア本人もだけど、部屋の主たる思春期の少年の内部の心臓とかな。
そうなの？けどそれじゃますますわからないよシロ。ちゃんと何が都合悪くてどうして危ないのか言ってくれなくちゃやめてあげない。
The silver-haired girl gets down on all fours and...
ほら、もっと近くに寄っちゃったよ。さ、どうして朝に来られると困ってしまうのシロ。
I roll away from her in a panic, still wrapped up in my covers. I'm in danger. Every morning I have to face the fact of my male physiology. If she comes at me looking like that, I'll be branded in shame as a...
あ、
My head runs smack dab into a wooden post.
だから危ないって言ったんだ。
I collapse to the floor, making excuses.
ごめんねシロ。その、痛くなかった。
It hurts. The pain is so bad I'm seeing stars, but I can't let that slip in front of Ilya.
いや、大丈夫だ。いい目覚ましになったから気にしないでくれ。
I shake my head and stand up. The physical shock has completely tamed my physiological reaction.
よし。時間も時間だし、朝飯を作りに行くか。イリア、朝は何がいい？嫌いなものがあったら今のうちに言ってくれ。
嘘、シロご飯作れるの？
まあ人並みにはできる。洋菓子はそうだな、ホットケーキぐらいならなんとか。
It's glowing. Ilya's face lights up. It seems she's quite pleased to learn that I know how to cook.
なんなら一緒に作るか？朝飯ができたら呼びに行こうと思ってたけど、イリアが起きてるなら今にいてもらった方がいいし。
本当？うん、行く行く。シロのエプロン姿見たい。
そっか。じゃあ3人で協力して遠坂をやっつけよう。今朝はさくらと一緒に作る約束だったから、イリアが入れば3人力だ。
やめた。さくらがいるなら行かない。シロ、一人で行って。
And
なんだよ急に。さくらがいるならって、イリアはさくらが嫌いなのか？
いいえ、どっちかっていうと好きな部類よ。ただあの子はシロには合わないから認めてあげないだけ。
that's an interesting way of putting it.
合わないってイリア？
本当のことよ。シロだって気づいてるくせに必死に気づかないようにしてるでしょ。私が今さら言っても始まらないわ。
Ilya starts walking out the door.
それとどんなトランス状態にあったか知らないけど、むやみに先に進まないで。あなたが見ているものはアーチャーの魔術でシローの魔術じゃないわ。いずれシローのものになるとは言っても今はまだ可能性があるだけ。そんな状態で投影なんてすればシローの体は内側から崩壊する。
投影なんてすれば。
I repeat Ilya's words in confusion. And then... the firing hammer goes off. The dream I had on that operating table. A hazy understanding of what I saw and what it meant enters my mind. That was probably an extreme form of projection magecraft from the end of the earth. That replicates any weapon he sees as swords.
そうよ。アーチャーの宝具は彼だけが使える魔術なの。アーチャーは目にした武器なら確実に複製する連鉄の英霊。 その力は彼の腕を受け継いだシローにも使えるものよ。今は意識してないだろうけど、その気になればきちんとした起動呪文も思い起こせる。けど使えるからって使おうなんて思わないで。あの神父の言葉は正しいわ。一度でもその布を解いて投影をすればシローは絶対に助からない。だから何があってもその布は外さないで。キリツグみたいに勝手に死んだら許さない。私が殺す前に私を一人にしたら絶対に許さないんだから。
Ilya leaves into the hallway. I could sense hatred mixed with genuine concern in her warning.
先輩、株の汚れ取り終わりました。手羽元の準備はどうですか？
ああ、アク取りは済んだ。そっちを四つ切りにしたら煮よう。
はあ、先輩、カレー粉なんて持って何するんですか？
ん？タレ作ってるんだ。イワシのかば焼きにかける。イリアが魚嫌いでも食べられるだろ、カレー風味なら。
なるほど、冴えてますね先輩。それじゃあさばくのは私がやりますから、先輩は煮込み物のチェックをお願いします。
え？あ、いや、イワシなら包丁使わなくてもさばけるからいいよ。腹骨をこそぐ時だけ頼むから、さくらはだしと醤油でかぼちゃに作ってくれ。一品ぐらい甘いものがあった方がいい。
はい、了解しました。ああ、片手で綺麗なお魚さばいているとお寿司屋さんみたいですよ先輩。
Sakura cheerfully reaches into the refrigerator. Maybe she feels better after a full night's sleep because she's in a great mood this morning. Well, she did something last night. And I'm having fun in the kitchen with her too. Sakura thoughtfully anticipates what I'm trying to do and preps everything I need. Cooking together with her is so comforting.
先輩、お寿司屋さん止まってますけど。
ああ、ちょっとぼーっとしてた。急がないとな。そろそろ7時だ。
I sigh quietly so that Sakura won't hear and resume trimming the sardines. Sardines have soft flesh, so it's better to trim them with fingers than a knife. It's something I can just barely manage to do with my only working hand.
けど先輩、いつの間にそんな技を覚えたんですか？右手だけでお魚をさばくなんてかなり普通じゃないです。
技じゃない。これはタイミングと気合の問題。その気になればさくらだってできる。
はあ、そんなものですか。
そんなもんだよ。技っていうのは包丁一本で牛ばらしたり氷細工をスパーンと作っちまうやつ。はい、あとよろしく。腹骨取ったら焼くからボウルに入れといてくれ。
I step away from the cutting board and move in front of the stove. I turn on the heat under the frying pan and add half a teaspoon of oil. I'm more or less on autopilot thanks to muscle memory, so I start looking up at the sky.
先輩、
I grunt absently.
余計なことかもしれませんけど、そのイリアさんと何かあったんですか？
My hand holding the pan freezes. But only for an instant. Sakura probably didn't notice.
ちょっと台所に来る前に話した。イリアはイリアでやっぱり大変なんだ。それにどうやって答えればいいのかすごく難しい。
それはマスターとしての問題。イリアさんはまだ戦うと言っているとか。
いや、とりあえずイリアには戦闘意欲らしきものはない。いや、初めからそんなものはなかったのかもしれない。アインツベルンのマスターとして聖杯を手に入れようとしたんだろうけどそれは。
She lost it long before this war ever started. The person she wanted to see, Kiritsugu Emiya, died 5 years ago. So, what can I do for her in his place? What should I do?
なあ、さくら。もしイリアが自分の国に帰りたくないって言ったら、うちに住んでもらっちゃダメかな。
ここは先輩のお家です。私の意見はあんまり意味がないです。
何言ってんだ。ここさくらの家じゃんか。それにイリアを引き取るなんて大事なこと、相方に相談なしでできることじゃない。
相方って私ですか？
ああ、さくら以外いないだろ、そんなの。
Ilya or Tosaka would never help me so perfectly in the kitchen.
さくら、フライパンの用意できたから。
I ask her for the deboned sardines. Sakura gives them to me with an unsteady motion. What's wrong? Is your fever back?
はい、わかりました。私、イリアさんと仲良くできるよう頑張ります。
うん、そうしてくれると嬉しい。イリアもさくらのこと嫌いじゃないって言ってたから、ちゃんと話せば仲良くなれる。
Yeah, that would make me really happy. Once the Holy Grail War in our relationship as masters ends, I'd love to have Sakura and Ilya live here. We can make breakfast together without a care in the world, just like today. I'd pay any price to make that happy future come true.
おはよう。
Hey, Rin.
日曜だっていうのに早いのね、二人とも。
Suddenly, an incredible sight walks by.
先輩、今お菓子の人が通りませんでした？
さくらにも見えたってことは幻覚じゃないんだな。
We timidly peek into the living room. With a loud thump, the newcomer violently plants herself on the floor to stake her territory. Then she grumpily pours herself a cup of tea and turns on the TV with a sour expression. Man.
遠坂先輩、朝に弱い人だったんだ。
Sakura? Isn't that term usually reserved for more endearing behavior? We start eating breakfast. I'm sitting next to Sakura at the dining table, while Tosaka is next to Ilya.
あら、割と上品な味付けをするのね、さくら。これなら食べてあげてもいいわ。
I can't tell if Ilya is praising or attacking her.
参ったわね。私、朝は食べない主義なんだけど。
In classic Tosaka fashion, she grumbles even as she munches on the tamagoyaki. One grunt, she focuses on her food without saying anything else. Breakfast passes in silence. The only noise comes from the TV as it alternates through topic after topic. I see a familiar backdrop on the screen. There's no doubt about it. They're talking about mysterious bloodstains found this morning in the Shinto Park.
中央公園で行方不明者。付近にはおびただしい血痕。
It was a rather graphic incident. An older man out on a morning run found bloodstains at the park and reported them. Police officers responding to the scene discovered enough spilled blood to account for a single person, as well as partial human remains. Apparently, there was enough remains for up to 4 victims.
警察では4人の身元を。なんで4人なんだ。1人分の血痕しかないのに。
そりゃ体の一部ってのが4人分あったんでしょう。本当に一部しか残ってなかっただろうけど、そこから判断したんじゃない？
遠さがってことは、これもサーバント造剣の仕業だっていうのか。
さあね、造剣の仕業かどうかはわからないけど、これはあの影がやったと見て間違いない。ほら、画面の端っこ、雑草が黒く変色してるでしょ。それ、森であの影が出てきた時と同じなのよ。
Tosaka analyzes it casually. But there's still 2 things I don't understand.
なんでだよ。あの影がなんであれ、今まではこんなことしてなかっただろう。あれは町の人たちから魔力を吸い上げたことはあっても、こんな風に、その。
He didn't need to murder them like this.
そうね、考えられる理由があるとしたら、敵がいなくなったからでしょう。もう正面からあいつらを倒せるマスターはいない。なら これからは誰の目も気にすることなく好き放題できるでしょ。
それは見境がなくなってるってことか。
さあ、自分で言っておいてなんだけど、私にはそうは見えない。仮に造剣があの影と関係があるのなら、これは予期せぬ事故だったんじゃないかしら。造剣本人、今頃これを知って驚いてるってのに卵焼きをかけてもいい。
Not that Tosaka even has any tamagoyaki left to hold up her under the bed. And now her eagle eyes are eyeing my plate.
予期せぬ事故ってなんでさ。
後片付けができてないでしょ。結婚はともかく遺体の一部を残すようなやつじゃない。つまりこの現場に造剣はいなくて、
Yeah,
あのわけ
that's
わかんな
true.
い影だけで食事をしたってこと。
なるほど。じゃあもう一つ。さっきの質問なんだが、どうして被害者は4人って分かってるんだ？結婚は1人分で、遺体の一部だって1人分しかないんだぞ。
重さじゃなくて形の話。一つしかないはずのものが4つあったんじゃない？それなら鑑識するまでもなく被害者の数ぐらいわかるもの。ほら、一面の血の海にさ、違う靴が4足あったら誰だって何人いたかわかるでしょ。
So it just didn't eat a part of each person? Tosaka talks about it calmly. As soon as I imagine that visual, my appetite suddenly goes away. After breakfast,
シロ、やらなくちゃいけないことがあるからちょっと付き合って。
she takes me to the dojo. I have no reason to say no, and I was planning to talk to Tosaka about our next steps. Was.
ちょっと、私が呼んだのはシロだけよ。なんだってゾロゾロついてくるのよ、あなたたちは。
Tosaka's cranky that we have uninvited companions.
その遠坂先輩が妙に先立ってるから先輩一人だと危険だと思って。あのね、素人は協定を結んだんだから騙し討ちなんてしないわよ。そんなこと言わなくても分かってるくせに何だってついてきたの、さくら。だって先輩を守るのは私の役割です。言い切ったわね。じゃあそっちは？私がやることなんてとっくに分かってるくせにわざわざヤジ飛ばしに来たわけ？いいえ、私もさくらと同じよ、リン。あなたがやりたいことは分かるけど、どんな方法を取るかまでは分からないもの。シローに変なことしないか監視に来たのよ。まあいいけど、こっちはシローのためを思って体をいじるんだから、早とちりして邪魔なんてしないでよ
Alright,
ね。
the switch.
悠長にやってる余裕なんてないんだから。
Tosaka's overnight bag is in the dojo. She must have brought it here before breakfast. It's filled with tools I think I remember seeing at her house, so I think I know what she's going to do to me, but...
悪い。その前に少しいいか、登坂。
何よ、まさかこの後に及んで痛いのは嫌だなんて言うんじゃないでしょうね。
そりゃ当たり前だ。誰だって痛いのは嫌だぞ。大体な、何をするか説明もしていないのに、そんなの見せられたら逃げるぞ、普通。
Our audience members nod. I'm glad I have such supportive backup.
説明不足で悪かったわね。どうせあなたと比べてこっちは普通じゃないわよ。文句があるなら出ていけばいいじゃない。
Ah. Tosaka's sulking because we're ganging up on her.
いや、文句はない。登坂がやろうとしていることだってうすうす分かってる。分かってるから、そっちのことは全面的に信頼してる。どんな指示だろうと登坂の言葉なら信じる。昨日の夜。
じゃあなんで待ったなんて書けるのよ。疑問がないならおとなしく言うこと聞きなさいよね。
いや、その話じゃない。俺が確認しておきたいのは今後の方針だ。これから俺たちはどうするのか、ここでちゃんと決めておくべきだろう。
The expressions on my side change. We put off this discussion yesterday, but now it's time to hash this out. It concerns the future for all of us. What are we going to fight? What do we want to do? There's no going back once we decide. No, we passed the point of no return a long time ago. I'm just reiterating that fact.
私は戦いには参加しない。誰かが私を襲うのなら戦うけど、自分から戦う気はないわ。今回の聖杯戦争は勝ち残ったところでどうなるかわからないもの。
私もイリアさんと同じです。私たちではおじい様には勝てないと思います。もう勝敗は決まったようなものですから、ここでおとなしくしていればおじい様も手出しはしてこないはずですし。
Tosaga doesn't say anything. I can't tell what she's thinking, but she doesn't agree with Ilya and Sakura, so I hope she's thinking what I'm thinking.
そうだな。守りに徹するって意見には賛成だ。さくらはこの家から出ず、造形に対して守りを固める。さくらにはライダーがいるし、防戦に徹するならさくらとイリアぐらいは守りきってくれる。その間、俺と遠坂は造形を倒す手段を考える。ここに立てこもっていてもいつかは襲われるし、これ以上あいつらを野放しにはできない。今朝のニュースと同じことがこれからも起きないとは言えないんだから。
Tosaga doesn't interrupt me. Whatever she's thinking, she also intends to fight Zoken with me.
造形も放っておけないが、それ以上にあの影は放っておけない。俺と遠坂は今夜から街に出ることになるだろうから、さくらとイリアはここで気を配っていてくれ。
I look around to see if anyone disagrees. But
何を言ってるんですか、先輩。
さくら、何って別におかしなことじゃないだろう。戦えるのは俺と遠坂だけなんだから、俺たちで造形を倒さないと。
それがおかしいんです。先輩、満足に両手も使えないんですよ。それがどういうことなのか本当に分かっているんですか。
さくら、
分かりません。先輩、おかしいです。そんな目にあったのにどうしてまだ戦うんですか。これ以上は先輩の手にはまるって、そんなこと実際戦った先輩なら分かってるはずなのに、どうしてそんなバカなことを言うんですか。これなら戦えない体になってしまえば、もう危ない目に遭わないでくれるって安心したのに、どうして。
さくら。
Sakura's trembling. She's sulking, shaking at her own words. I don't know what she's feeling right now. All I can do is answer her question.
さくら、俺はさくらを勝たせる。そのために戦う。造形やあの影が放っておけないってこともあるけど、それ以上に俺は聖杯が欲しい。これは誰かのためじゃなくて俺自身の勝手な願いだ。
That's right. It's for my selfish desire to be on Sakura's side and no one else's.
それは私のためなんですか。
そうだ。さくらの体から刻印虫が取り除けるなら、それはさくらのためにもなる。大丈夫だよ、さくら。勝ち目がないのならまず勝ち目を作るし、勝ち目がないうちは戦わない。そりゃ勝ち目があったところで危険は当然だし、代償はついて回るから、怪我をしないって約束はできないけど必ず帰ってくる。さくらを守るって言っただろ。ならそばにいないと約束を守れない。
先輩。
Sakura looks down painfully. It almost seems like she's apologizing to me.
はいはい、そこまでにしてもらえる。方針は決まったんだから、今さらどうこう言っても仕方がないでしょう。さくらとイリアはここで留守番。私とシロウはとりあえず夜の街を巡回する。造剣たちを見つけても安易に仕掛けないで、
勝算がある場合のみ戦ってあいつらの戦力を削っていく。これが今後の方針ってことで OK なんでしょ、シロ？
ああ、遠坂がその気ならこっちも頼もしい。
そんなの言うまでもないじゃない。それとさくら、キレイはあんたから刻印中を完全には摘出できなかったけど、その活動は大幅に抑えたはずよ。だから神事の時みたいに直接何かをされない限り刻印中の暴走はないの。逆に言えば、あなたがこの屋敷にとどまっている限り造剣は最後の一人にはなれない。遅かれ早かれあいつは桜を奪いに来るんだから、戦わないなんて選択肢はないのよ。それが
それはそうですけど、おじい様だって私たちが何もしなければ手荒なことは。
さくら、いい加減その卑屈な考えやめなさい。造剣はあんたの祖父でもなければ死でもない。あれだけ非道を重ねるやつをまだ人間だって思ってるの？
いいえ、おじい様が人だなんて思ったことは一度も。
ならあなたも覚悟を決めなさい。私とシローが外で戦うように、あなたもここで戦わなくっちゃいけないんだから。もし造剣がここを襲った時、あなたは何としても逃げ延びること。ライダーさえ倒されなければ聖杯は完成しない。ライダーが生きている限りはあなたにだって助かる希望があるんだから。
She towers over Sakura with the dignity of a big sister. Sakura nods meekly and says that she understands. After that, I asked Tosaka why we're here in the dojo.
そうね、まずは裸になってもらおうかしら。
Hell of a thing to say.
何をするにしてもシローがどんな体をしているか見ておかないとうまくいかないでしょ。
And she gives me an outrageous answer.
何？今の驚くようなこと？さくら。
驚くようなことです。先輩に裸になれって、遠坂先輩は何を考えてるんですか？
何ってシローのことに決まってるでしょ。あなたも危ないけどシローだって負けず劣らずでヤバいんだから、今のうちに色々やっておかないとダメだってさくらだって分かってるんじゃない？
それはそうですけど。
分かってるなら口出ししないでよね。ほらそこ、ポカンとしてないでさっさと上着を脱ぐ。魔除けのサインを入れるんだから服着てたらできないでしょ。
Tosaka glares daggers at me. But Sakura's gaze is just as painful. It's like her anxious eyes are asking me if I'm going to go over to her sister.
早くしなさい。早めに体になじませないと夜の巡回に間に合わなくなるんだから。
The situation is too serious to worry about feeling ashamed. I don't want to get naked, but taking off my shirt is just like changing clothes, so it's no big deal.
脱いだぞ、遠坂。で、これからどうするんだ？
こっちに来て。私の魔術刻印を少しだけ使ってあげるから。
そっちってこんな格好で遠坂の近くにか？
当たり前でしょ。左手で直接触れてシローの日韓を把握して、その上で魔除けの刻印を上書きするんだから。くすぐったかったり痛かったりするけど我慢しなさいよね。
She beckons me over. I can't escape from the dojo now. I give up and go over to Tosaka. I have a feeling Sakura's eyes are boring into me.
じゃあ始めるけど、その前に確認事項ね。この前はシローの体にスイッチを入れようって言ってたけど、あれはやめるわ。ここで簡単に魔術回路のオンオフができるようになったらシロー自身が危ないから。
ああ、分かった。
My voice pitches higher and it's getting hard to breathe. I'm half naked and really close to Tosaka. Why wouldn't I be nervous?
ちょっと落ち着きないけどちゃんと聞いてるの？
聞いてる。ちゃんと聞いてる。
ならいいけど。それで今回するのは逆に魔力を抑える手術よ。今のシローの体は不安定で、いつアーチャーの腕から魔力が逆流してくるかわからない。だからとりあえず左肩とおへそと喉に針を入れて、あなた本人が全力で意識しない限りは左腕とはつながらないようにするの。同時にこれはあの影対策でもあるわ。あいつはそこにいるだけで魔力を吸い上げていく。今からシローに刻むサインは対魔力の効果もあるから、あいつと向き合っても少しは楽になるはずよ。
Well, that's good. With that, Tosaka places her palm on my chest.
うひゃ
I yelp in surprise and barely manage to stop my feet from beating a hasty retreat.
あれ、暑かった？けど我慢してもらえる？私の左手から刻印を移すから、これ以上は温度を下げられないの。
いや、熱い冷たいはいいんだけど。
Tosaka's hand was so soft it nearly shattered my heart. Each time her girlish, slender fingers touched my chest, I could feel the heat rising in my head.
よし、胸の方はだいたいつかめたわ。あとはおへそだけど、ちょっと痛いわよ。指入れるからできるだけ動かないで。大丈夫。傷はつかないし、あんまりかき回さないから。
かきます。どうす。
My body spasms. My stomach. Tosaka's palm on my chest was unbearable enough, but now something small and stick-like is under my skin, digging around inside my body.
また、そこ。せい。
だから痛いって言ったでしょ。気が散るからそんな声出さないでってば。なんかいけないことしてる気になるじゃない。
Just suck her in the back over there.
バカかお前は。
It's only making me blush even worse when you talk about it that way.
これでおへその方はおしまい。あとは肩と喉だから逃げずにおとなしくしててよね。
I'd rather dash out of the room like a scared rabbit. I want to run, but it'll just make Tosaka more self-conscious, so I stop protesting.
ほら、ちゃんと胸張ってよ。今のを肩にするから今度は頑張ってよね。歯を食いしばって変な声出さないこと。
できるだけ努力する。
I look away from Tosaka, feeling embarrassed. My whole body must be red, not just my face. I know we're doing it for the magecraft, so I feel bad for making Tosaka uncomfortable too. How am I supposed to look her in the eye after this? Sakura is so mad.
はい、これで終わりよ。私は道具を片付けてくるから、シローは体を冷やしてなさい。
Tosaka starts packing her first aid looking kit into her overnight bag. Still flushed, I finally managed to catch my breath. And then... I noticed that Sakura looks like she wants to say something. She's looking away and wringing her hands uncomfortably.
さくら、どうした？
そのですね。
She glances at my face. Then she takes a deep breath as if to work up her courage and asks,
先輩、私たち恋人同士なんですよね。
My cheeks suddenly reach boiling temperature again, just seconds after cooling off.
先輩。
Stop it. This is absolutely the wrong time to get tongue-tied.
ああ、さくらは俺の。
ですよね。なら姉さんにドキドキするのはおかしいです。
Finally, I realize that Sakura's been looking so hurt because she's been pouting.
すまん。けどさくら、別に遠坂がどうこうっていうんじゃなくて、今のはその不可抗力っていうか。
わかりますけど我慢してください。
Aw.
輩は私の恋人なんですから。
それは分かってるんだけど。
I couldn't resist. I'm a guy and I've had a crush on Tosaka since my first year of high school, so there was nothing I could do.
ごめん。その次はなんとか我慢する。遠坂にドギマギしないよう頑張る。
本当ですね。月もこんなことがあったら私だって怒っちゃいますからね。
I tell her I really will try, feeling apologetic from the bottom of my heart. I can't believe I'm only now realizing it, but... well, it's awfully nerve-wracking living under the same roof with 3 girls. The time is 11:30 a.m. It's almost lunchtime. The kitchen is busy and filled with an unapproachable tension.
遠坂先輩、お昼はみんなでつけるようなものにしようと思うんですが、苦手な料理とかありますか？
From the corner of the kitchen, Sakura timidly asks Tosaka a question. She answers,
そうじゃあ私は麻婆豆腐を作るから。
Tosaka completely ignores Sakura's question and starts making tofu on her own.
倹約ね。
Hey,
シロ、あの二人に調理を任せるなんて正気？
Haley is sitting upright on a seat cushion. She doesn't sugarcoat her question. I can see how from Ilya's point of view, Sakura and Tosaka look tense.
あの二人、放っておいたらますます仲が悪くなるわよ。そんなこと分かってるくせに、どうしてこんなことになったの、シロ？
どうしてってごく自然な流れだったぞ。昼飯はどうしようって話になってな。遠坂は自分が作る、桜はそれは自分の仕事だって言い張ったんだ。ずいぶん話し合ったけど2人とも引かないから、じゃあ間を取って一緒に飯を作ればいいだろうって。
シロがそう言っちゃったの？そう、それじゃ引き下がれないわよね、二人とも。
Ilya accepts my explanation and takes a polite sip of tea. As expected of a princess, even without knowing proper etiquette, the way she drinks tea is so graceful.
けどシロ、間を取るんだったらシロが作ればよかったでしょ。なんだってリンとサクラを一緒にしたの？遠坂とマトウは敵同士で、リンはサクラを殺したがっているのよ。
それは昨日までの話だろ。遠坂は桜と戦いたくないから俺たちに協力してくれてるんだ。それに2人は敵同士じゃない。仲いいしうまくいくと思ったから昼飯を任せたんだ。
仲がいいって、
驚くようなことか今の。俺とイリアだって敵同士だったけど仲いいだろ。なら遠坂と桜だって同じだよ。
そりゃ私とシロは特別だけど。
特別も何もない。見てればわかる。ほら遠坂のやついつも以上にぶっきらぼうだろ。そのくせ桜が何か失敗するとすぐ注意をする。あれってつまり
始終気にかけてるってことね。けどそれを知られたくないから冷たい顔してサクラを無視してるんだわ。
で桜も桜でそれが分かってるからいつもはしないはずの失敗をしてる。桜も遠坂が気になって仕方がないんだ。
言われてみればそうね。じゃあ何？二人とも仲良くなりたくてうずうずしてるくせに恥ずかしいから話しかけられないってこと？
I nod. I don't know how Tosaka feels about it, but I can tell that's how Sakura thinks. I'm sure that Sakura likes Tosaka and wants Tosaka to like her. Otherwise, she wouldn't refer to her as big sister.
ああ見えて不器用なのね、リンは。
Ilya watches the pair in the kitchen. She sounds impressed. I follow her gaze. They should be about halfway done. Tosaka and Sakura are standing side by side in the kitchen, each cooking whatever they want. Both are silent. One holds a frying pan while the other holds a ladle. The silence drags on. It's starting to get suffocating, even for me.
ねえ
遠坂先
Sakura
輩
Then, like true sisters, they both break the ice at the same time.
何話があるなら聞いてあげるから言ってちょうだい。
いえ別にこれといって何も遠坂先輩こそ何かお話があるんですか？
別に強いて言えば他人の味付けって珍しいでしょ。だからちょっと教えてもらえたら役に立つなって思っただけ。
そうですね。私も遠坂先輩のレシピを教えてもらえたら嬉しいです。
終わっちゃった。呆れたわね。これじゃ一生あのままだと思うわ私。
The scary thing is that I can't deny it. Tosaka's usually so open and reserved, so why is she so shy when it comes to Sakura? That goes for Sakura, too. She called Tosaka Ne-san when she was with me, so it's painful to watch her being so polite with her now.
さくら、
はい何でしょう先輩。
ちょっと話がある。こっちに来てくれ。
先輩外に何かあるんですか？
いや、外は関係ない。ちょっとした内緒話がしたかっただけだ。
ああ内緒話ですか？姉さんには言えないこととか。
それ、俺が言いたいのは今のだ。だから遠坂の呼び方。さくら、遠坂の前だと姉さんって言わないだろ。本当はそう呼びたいくせに無理してるってバレバレだぞ。
バレバレって姉さんにですか？
Oh. It was just supposed to be a leading question, but Sakura's even more bashful than I expected. She's a shy little sister who thinks a lot of her big sister.
あ、いや、遠坂は気づいてない。どういうわけか。あいつはさくらに対してはすごく鈍感だ。下手するとさくらに嫌われてると思ってる節もある。
そんなことありません。姉さんが私を嫌うのは当然だけど、私は姉さんと一緒にいられて嬉しいです。こうして二人でお昼ご飯を作るなんて夢にも思っていませんでしたし。
なら素直にそう言えばいいじゃないか。鈍感な遠坂でもさくらが面と向かって言えば気がつく。そうすればさくらだって。
And then she'll realize without me even telling her that Tosaka wants to get along with her too.
先輩。
いや、ともかく遠坂に姉さんって言ってみろ。それだけであいつきっと面白いぐらい表現するから。
そうでしょうか。遠坂先輩、私に姉さんなんて呼ばれても私は魔導の魔術師で姉さんみたいに何でもできるわけじゃない。私みたいな出来損ないが妹なんてきっと遠坂先輩はがっかりしています。
I don't think that's how she thinks at all, Sakura.
バカ。姉と妹の関係に余分なこと持ち込むな。お前は遠坂が好きで、遠坂はお前の姉貴なんだろ。ならそれ以上に確かな関係なんてない。俺が保証する。さくらと遠坂は間違いなく相思相愛だ。正直。
そうなんですか？
そうだよ。だからちゃんと姉さんって呼ぶこと。さくらがそう信じてるように遠坂もずっと信じていたんだと思う。だから怖がることなんてない。あいつのためにもさくらの口から遠坂を呼んでやってほしいんだ。
姉さんのためにも。
I don't know what indecision Sakura is grappling with. She puts her hands together like a prayer and looks deep in thought. Then,
頑張ってみます。私。
I return to the living room. Sakura exchanges a look with me, does a quick gesture to pump herself up, and goes back into the kitchen.
おかえりなさい。さくら、肩がガチガチだけど、何かあったの？
いや、あとはさくらの勇気次第。ま、うまくいくに決まってるんだが。
I plop back down on a seat cushion.
姉さん、この唐揚げ、あとは私がやってもいいですか？
ええ、あとはあげるだけだし、さくらに任せる。さくら、今。
はい、それじゃあ唐揚げは私がやりますから。姉さんはレタスをちぎってください。盛り付けを任せますから。
ええ、それはいいけど。
The conversation becomes stiff. It's even more tense than before, and the duo falls silent again. They watch each other, holding their breath.
やっぱりおかしいですか、姉さん。
おかしいことはないけど、そんな風に呼ばれたことがないから驚いただけよ。
Aww.
それじゃあ
文句はないわ。呼び方なんてさくらの自由だし、私だってさくらって呼び捨てにしてるし。まあ先輩って呼び方が2人もいると混乱するし、そっちの方が分かりやすいんじゃない？
Tosaka huffs with a reluctant tone and turns away from Sakura. But she's blushing and can't hide the grin on her face. Sakura's probably noticed too. Their work after that exchange became even more awkward. They both made mistakes and messed up the plating, covered the fried chicken in pepper, turned the mapo tofu into fiery lava, then even forgot to turn the rice cooker on so lunch was missing rice. It was a disaster. Still, I could spot Tosaka and Sakura grinning whenever one thought the other wasn't looking. They looked happy as can be.
まったく、ほんと不器用ね。
Ilya remarks with exasperation before making a face as the mapo tofu tinkles her tongue. I nod in agreement and enjoy the slipshod lunch they made for us. Aw, cute. After lunch, I take a break and go back to my room. Tosaka said she had something to do and took Ilya to her room.
イリアの手を借りて造形対策をするの。刻印が馴染むのにも時間がかかるだろうし、午後は休んでいていいわ。シローがいても邪魔なだけだから。
So she said, "We don't have any way to fight back against Zoken right now. All there is to do is wait for Tosaka to finish whatever she's working on." Sakura goes back to her own bedroom. She had several dizzy spells while we were cleaning up after lunch. I was relieved when I saw her in good spirits this morning, but she's still suffering from a fever. She took our advice to rest in her bedroom if she felt tired at all. And now I'm alone looking at my left arm. I couldn't move it at all before, but now I can slightly bend it at the elbow. It still feels completely numb, but on the bright side it doesn't hurt much anymore. If there's any pain, it's mostly from the crest that Tosaka transplanted to me. My shoulder, throat, and dantian, just below my navel. Each spot feels like one of Frankenstein's monster's bolts are screwed into it.
左腕は借り物で、体はボルト止めか。
Basically, our Frankenstein's monster at this point. I picture myself as a cyborg from a sci-fi movie. It's an amusing image, but there's nothing funny about my condition. I wanted to check out my arm in the mirror, but I can't even stand up in front of it. It's sometime before 2 p.m. I've got time to kill, so... Well, let's look after Sakura. I'll go check on Sakura. She went back to her bedroom like we asked, but I'm worried about whether she's getting proper rest.
さくら、いるか？
I knock quietly.
あれ、先輩。
I hear a languid voice from the other side of the door.
ちょっと待ってください。すぐに着替えますから。
She sounds a little panicky. I must have caught her sleeping. About 2 minutes later,
お待たせしました。どうぞ入ってください。
お邪魔する。
I was nervous standing here waiting to enter a girl's bedroom. I've been in this room before, but the situation is different now. Back then, Sakura was unconscious. Now she's inviting me in.
それで何かあったんですか、先輩。私少し眠っていたから物音とか聞いてなくて。
いや、そんなんじゃない。別に何かあったから来たんじゃなくて、さくらがちゃんと休んでるか気になってきたんだけど。
But I ended up interrupting her sleep.
それなら合格ですね。私ちゃんと休んでましたよ。
ああ、起こしちまってごめん。さくらだって自分の体を分かってるもんな。熱があるのに無理して動き回ることなんてないんだ。なんか俺が過保護すぎたみたいだ。
I'm disappointed in myself. That makes Sakura giggle.
やっぱり気を回しすぎか俺。
いえ、そんなことありません。先輩は鋭いです。本当はですね、お掃除の続きをしたかったんです。このまま先輩が来なかったらちょっと抜け出しちゃおうって思ってました。
抜け出しちゃおうってさくら。
はい、だってこんなに元気なのに寝込んでいたら病人みたいで嫌だったんです。だから先輩に言われてもいつも通りの私でいようって。けどそうしたら姉さんがふざけるなって怒るんです。無理をして倒れたら私たちに迷惑がかかるって。
That's true. After lunch, I stopped Sakura from cleaning the house. But she wouldn't listen to me. I wasn't sure what to do until Tosaka stepped in. Still, she didn't exactly ask nicely. If you faint again, we'll have to kill you. It was an awfully aggressive way to make her back down.
そうだな。父さが怒ってたな。
はい、私姉さんに怒られちゃいました。
Sakura seems happy about it. I see now. Despite her words, she's happy that Tosaka is worried about her.
じゃあちゃんと休んでないとな。さくらがどう思っていようと、さくらの体は疲れているんだから、さくらがこうして休んでいてくれれば、俺も父さも安心して外に出られる。
そうですね。けど私は本当に元気なんですよ。今は調子が悪いだけで明日になれば元気になってるんです。ほら、この前の風邪と同じでこんなの1日経てば治っちゃうんですから。
バカ、邪魔しちまった俺が言うことじゃないけど、さくらは横になっていてくれ。眠れるのなら眠った方がいい。夕食時に起こしに来るから、それまでゆっくりしてるといい。
I turned to leave. But... I feel Sakura tug on my shirt sleeve.
さくら、
先輩の言う通りちゃんと眠るんですけど、その先輩がそばにいてくれるのは嬉しいです。
It's rare for Sakura to ask to be pampered. She usually tries to do everything on her own. Maybe she doesn't want to be a burden to other people. And now she's being a little selfish. No, something like this isn't selfish at all. But from her point of view, she's being very indulgent. That's why she looks so timid as she asks me. I'm willing to do anything she asks, but something like this hardly counts as a favor at all.
じゃあもう少しここにいる。
I agree, suppressing the urge to hug her.
やったー。それじゃあお茶を入れてきますね、先輩。とっておきの中国茶をごちそうしちゃいます。
Sakura turns to the bedroom door.
待った、お茶は俺が入れるから、さくらはベッド。これじゃ本末転倒じゃないか。
そうです ですね。なんかおかしいです私。
Sakura happily gets back into bed. As I walked out, I gave her a gentle pat on the head and went to make tea. Still, though, this is more mentally exhausting than I expected. Sakura and I are alone.
けど本当はですよ。本当は先輩が姉さんのことを好きなんだって気づいてたんです。
Nothing she's saying is entering my brain.
姉さんの前だとすごく楽しそうにしてますから。
If I look at her the wrong way, I won't be able to hold myself back. I'm a guy, after all. When I think back to the other night, I immediately want to scoop her up in my arms.
そうですよね。姉さんに比べたら私なんて魅力ないし、先輩イリアさんも好きみたいだし、その先輩は物おじする子は嫌いなんでしょうか。
I take a deep breath and steady myself. I shouldn't do anything too extreme while Sakura's in this state. Though I suppose that would help her. So it isn't a bad thing. It isn't bad, but... Oh, right, Tosaka and Ilya are right next door. If we do anything here, they'll know. I'm not ready for the scornful way they'll look at me the next time we're in this living room.
ってさくら、なんか怒らせるようなことをしたかな俺。
I'm pulled back to reality from my daydream when I realize that Sakura is oddly gloomy.
いいえ、先輩は何もしてません。何もしてないのが問題なんです。そのですね、私際どいことを言ったんです。先輩聞いてませんでしたけど。
すまん。確かに上の空だった。確か遠坂の話をしてたと思うんだけど。
ええ、そうです。姉さんがここで寝泊まりするようになって嬉しいかって。
Right. I was listening to Sakura talk about our current living situation.
で、どうなんださくら、遠坂のこと好きなんだろなら、今の状況は嬉しいんじゃないか。
嬉しいです。けどそれと同じくらい不安なんです。姉さんは私の理想で、私じゃ手に入らなかったものをいっぱい持ってます。だから近くにいると目を背けたくなって素直には喜べない。なんだか姉さんにも自分にも何をしてるんだって責められてる気がしてしまって。
I think I understand. I still have a long way to go, too. If I were suddenly faced with my ideal self, the sight would be too painful and blinding. Yeah, it's a good thing that's not happening, huh? But even if I can empathize...
さくら、お前、遠坂みたいなのが理想なのか
I ask her warily. It's the kind of question that would spur Tosaka to knock me out in one punch if she were here.
はい、ずっと姉さんみたいになりたいって思ってました。あ、もちろん魔術師としてじゃなく女の子としてですよ。姉さんは何でもできていつも颯爽としてるじゃないですか。私も一度でいいからあんな風にかっこよくなりたいなって。
Sakura talks about Tosaka cheerfully. I have mixed feelings about that, but I agree that Tosaka is pretty cool. In fact, I find the way she owns all her words and actions to be very handsome.
なるほど。けど、さくらは今まで遠坂と会えなかったんだろマトウと遠坂の取り決めとかなんとかで。それでよくと。はい。
だってどうしたって気になるじゃないですか。私も姉さんも子供の頃のことは覚えてないんです。何しろずっと前だったから。ただ事実として私たちはもともと姉妹だったんだって知っていただけです。それで余計に気になって私たちはお互いを遠くからよく見てたんです。話すことはできなかったけど1学年上の遠坂先輩の噂はよく聞こえてきましたし。
ああ、 火の打ちどころのない優等生って噂か？言われてみればあいつは有名人だから話には事欠かないよな。
それに会えないということもありませんでした。学校ではよく声をかけてもらえたし、弓道部にも見学に来てくれましたから。それでですね、そういう時にいつも思ってたんです。私は見てもらえるだけでいいって。気にかけてもらえるだけで幸せだし、それ以上望んだらきっと嫌われるって分かってましたから。
嫌われるってどうしたよ？
私の魔術は姉さんとは違いますから。魔術というのは基本的に用途を定められていないでしょ。先輩の魔術だって何かを成し得るために何らかの現象を起こすものです。そこには初めから限定された目的はないと思います。
そうだな。できることは決まってるけど、できたものをどう扱うかはその都度違う。
けど魔導の魔術は違います。魔導の技は初めから他人から奪うことに限定した魔術なんです。それ以外の用途なんて持たない。他人の痛みしか糧にせず、他人の喜びを還元する教えがない。
I can't answer that. After all, I don't know what kind of magecraft the Mato has taught Sakura. Sakura is ashamed because she feels that she learned magecraft for nefarious purposes. So the rift between Sakura and Tosaka stems from the magical differences between their families. The more Sakura despises the magecraft she was taught, the worse her guilty conscience gets.
さくらは魔導の魔術が嫌いなのか？
先輩、それは人間に呼吸をするのが嫌いなのかと聞いてるようなものです。好きでも嫌いでもありません。ただそうしなければ生きていられなかっただけです。私は元からそのためだけに魔導の家に譲られた子供ですから。魔導の後継者になれなければそこで消えていたものなんです。先輩、そんな顔しないでください。確かに教えは厳しかったけど、先輩が思っているそれにですね、厳しさで言ったら先輩にはかないません。私、人に傷つけられるのは楽なんですけど、自分で自分を傷つけるのは怖いんです。生きたがりな私は自分で幕を下ろすことができない。死んでしまうことは何ともないけど、自分で死のうと考えるのは怖いんです。けど先輩はどっちもできちゃうんです。その先輩が夜にどんな修練をしているか一度だけですよ。忘れ物をして取りに来た時、土蔵の方で物音がして様子を見に行っちゃったんです。
Sakura dips her head apologetically. But her apology is just making me uneasy.
いや、謝らなくていい。それは俺の不注意だろ。さくらがいるってことに気づかなかったんだからな。周りの気配に気づけないようじゃ魔術師として失格だ。
それが。
それより、それっていつのことだ？さくらがやってくるようになってからすぐか？
I sure hope it was. I've made a fair bit of progress, even if it was at a snail's pace. If it happened recently and I still couldn't notice her presence, then it would mean that I haven't grown at all since my early days.
去年の夏頃の話です。藤村先生がスイカを持ってきてくれた日なんですけど。
そうか。よかった。
I sigh in relief. If it was half a year ago, that's an excuse I can make.
と、それでさくら、見た感想とかどうかな？
That's the first time someone other than Kiritsugu saw me practicing magecraft. I did a few examples in front of Tosaka the other day, but that was a lot different from my training in the shed. In that sense, hearing Sakura's opinion is like having a teacher give me feedback after an exam. She's a Mato mage too, so maybe she'll give me a good score.
内容に関しては黙秘権を使わせてもらいます。
Well,
姉さんじゃないけど点数をつけたら大変なことになっちゃいますから。
I think that speaks volumes.
それは赤ということですか。
それなら真っ赤と言えるでしょうね。
That's rough. Oh man. Sometimes you're more like your sister than you think, Sakura.
けど先輩、私本当にその時しか見てないんです。いえ、見てないんじゃなくて怖くてもう見られなかった。
怖くて見られなかった。
はい、それだけじゃなくて何度も何度も止めなくちゃって思ってました。先輩の鍛錬は普通じゃありません。私には先輩が自分で自分の喉を突き刺しているように見えました。そう錯覚したんじゃなくて本当にそう見えてしまったんです。
I know what Sakura's
そ
trying
んな
to
風
say.
に見えてしまったくらい先輩の鍛錬は危険なものでした。
Every time I manifest my magic circuits, I flirt with death. If my focus slips by so much as a millimeter while I'm wrapping my consciousness around my innards, I can end up blasting them out of my body. But isn't that the price every mage has to pay? My old man said that death would always walk at my side.
そうかな。魔術師ならあんなものだって聞いてるけど。それに俺が危なっかしいのは単にまだ未熟だからじゃないか。
それは違います。未熟とか半人前とかそういう話ではないんです。大体そんなことを言ったら資質がないのに魔術を使える先輩は別格です。魔術というのは使うものではなく体に覚えさせるものなんです。先輩のように毎回そのためだけに魔術回路を発現させるなんて普通の魔術師はしません。私が言っているのは最終的な結果なんです。先輩は自分を殺すことを毎晩やっていました。誰に強制されるのでもなく、かといって自分のためでもないのにずっと一人きりで堅くなにそれを守ってきた。それは姉さんにもできないことだと思います。先輩はそれが善悪どちらであろうと一度決めたことを最後まで守り通す。だからきっと私たちの中で先輩が一番強い。
It's incredibly embarrassing to hear you say that with a straight face, Sakura.
バカ、おだてても何も出ないぞ。だいたい強さで言うなら遠坂だし、さくらだってどんな魔術師だか知らないけど魔導の後継者だし、ライダーだっているじゃないか。
いいえ、先輩は強いです。それは魔術回路でも魔術特性でもなくて心の在り方が純粋だから。そんなこと出会った時から分かってたんですよ。この人はきっと何も裏切らない人なんだなって。
そう。
When she says it that seriously, I can't protest.
サンキュー。お世辞でもさくらにそう言ってもらえたのはすごく嬉しい。
I say what I really feel, even though I'm embarrassed. Sakura smiles, looking right back into my eyes. Uh-oh. If she looks at me that way, it's going to bring back the fantasies I had finally managed to shake off earlier.
そろそろ戻るかな。さくらも眠いんだろ。夜もあるんだし、午後はおとなしく休んでた方がいいんじゃないか。
I awkwardly clear my throat. I try to find a place to point my eyes and settle on the wall separating this room from Tosaka's.
そうですね。夜もありますし、隣には姉さんがいるんだし。
Tosaka blushes and looks around uneasily too, as if sensing what I'm sensing. Tosaka. Sakura? I kind of read that without thinking about it. No. Wrong name, game. Oh, that's probably one of the worst typos I've seen so far. I'm sure I'm making the same face.
それじゃあ部屋に戻る。夕食になったら呼びに来るから。
How'd they fuck that up?
待ってください先輩。
待つけど何？
そのですね、寝つくまで部屋に行ってくれたら嬉しいんですけど。
I find myself chuckling as she stutters while trying to ask for something. I wish I could ask her to do the same for me.
ああ、邪魔じゃなかったらここにいる。さくらが眠ったら出ていくから、それでいいかな。
はい、もちろんです。私頑張って起きてますから。
Look, Sakura. I'm happy to hear you say that, but then there's no point in me staying here. Once Sakura lies down, she suddenly becomes quiet. Oh, what the hell? I didn't even know where the log was. I just brushed against the fucking scroll wheel. She must be really tired if she's passing out as soon as she lies down. But before that happens...
けど先輩、私は今日一日休めば治りますけど、先輩の腕はどうなんですか
She starts talking to me again. I guess she doesn't intend to sleep after all.
俺の腕なら問題ないよ。この布を巻いている限り痛みはないし、少しずつ動くようにもなってきてる。この分なら明日には普通に動くんじゃないかな。
よかった。ほら、姉さんが手当てをしてから随分経っているでしょ。あの時は応急処置みたいだったし、もう効き目はないんじゃないかって。
随分経ってるって。
姉さんも姉さんですよね。魔術刻印を利用するのはいいけど、あんなのはその場しのぎで7日も持たないって分かってるくせに。
Sakura's tone is casual, but she said,
7日持たない。
The words sound terribly out of place.
そうですよ。そろそろ切れちゃう頃だから、ちゃんとした手当てをしないと。私の魔術じゃ根本的な解決はできないから、今度ライダーにいいアイディアがないか聞いてみますね。
She starts to doze off as she talks. I can't think of anything to say. All I can do is convince myself that she made a mistake because she's falling asleep.
先輩、そこにいますよね。
ああ、ちゃんといる。
よかった。そばにいてください、先輩。一人になると怖い夢ばっかり見るから、ちゃんと私を。
Sakura's eyes slowly close. I hear her breathing become slow and steady when she falls into a deep sleep. I turn off the lights and quietly leave the bedroom. Dark, stormy clouds fill my heart in contrast to her tranquil expression.
ちゃんと私を見張っていて。
Just as she's about to fall asleep, I can't help but feel that she said that unconsciously. Oh, interlude. Who are we going to? Swear to God, it's fucking Zokan.
さくら、入るぞ。
Shinji? He opens the door without waiting for a reply. He's never waited for his little sister to answer before opening the door.
なんだ、まだ帰ってきてないのか。本当に困ったもんだな、あいつ。
He clicks his tongue and steps into the room. Shinji Mato paces around his sister's room like a blind dog, running his nails along the walls.
さくら、今日も地下か。ああ、僕を差し置いて、また下で何かやっているんだろう。
Nobody answers his repeated questions. There's no one else in the room. His sister hasn't been back home for the last few days. Shinji keeps pacing around the room, even though he knows full well that its resident isn't here.
いつも通り。まったく、本当にいつも通りじゃないか。
He picks up a clock and throws it. The sound of the glass breaking irritates him more than he expected.
どこ行ってんだよ。兄貴に内緒でさ。
He keeps throwing things as if spitting out his anger. That's how this always goes. It's how he's compensated on a regular basis for the last few years. It's the greatest act of resistance he can do to forgive himself and his sister, ever since learning the truth 3 years ago. When he was born, the Mato bloodline had already outlived its purpose. Their noble line lost its power, and the Matos were reduced to ordinary people. Their only special assets were their knowledge. A once great lineage of arcane scholars met its obscure end in the Orient. He was told those facts even as a child. He was taught the Matos were special, a clan entrusted with miracles. There were no Matos left who could use magecraft, and they would have to live in society as normal people from now on. But he didn't think so. It's true that without magic circuits or whatever they were called, he couldn't perform magecraft on his own. He knew that mages died out with his father's generation, and that he wasn't qualified to inherit the Mato name. But the Matos still had records of their miracles. Only their bloodline was over. They still had their wealth of knowledge. To the boy, that was enough to make him special. He wasn't like other people. The Matos were a chosen people. Their worth hadn't diminished just because they lost their magical power and stopped being mages. He was proud to be part of that special family, and would live an exceptional life. He might be lacking as a mage, but he was born to a chosen family. That was for sure. One day, a new child came into their fold. His father said that the girl had no next of kin, so they would be adopting her. It was more than 10 years ago. From that day forward, the girl named Sakura became his little sister. At first, he didn't like her. He didn't want some foreign element to come into their special family. But as the days passed, he began to approve of her. Sakura was quiet, plain, and little better than a guard dog. Trying to be hostile towards her was a waste of time, so he began to dote on her stupidity to an extent. He buried himself in books, learned arcane arts that he couldn't perform, and thought of himself as the Mato heir. Only he was allowed into the Mato library. His sister was adopted, and she would never be chosen as the heir, so she had no right to look at those books. Surely she would live the rest of her life as a normal person, unaware of the Mato's remaining precious knowledge. That notion satisfied his arrogance. Each mage family only has one successor. He knew that, so he never had any doubts that his sister would be cast off and raised separately. Only one of them could learn magecraft, so it was natural that he didn't see her around much. That's right. In fact, he pitied her. They lived in the same house and had the same parents, yet only he was considered special. He felt sorry for his sister who wasn't chosen. His haughty attitude was the compassion of one who is superior, and of course, a source of his self-esteem as a reliable big brother. So the brother pitied his sister and treated her with affection. His sister never looked him in the eye. He figured she felt ashamed of herself, and so he doted on his helpless little sister, until the day he learned the truth. That was the only sound he could make when he happened upon that room. A room he never knew about. Wisdom that was never imparted to him. And talents he was never born with. All of that was here. And she was in the middle of the room, surrounded by black, squirming things and their scary grandfather. His father glanced at him with a look of scorn he'd never seen before, as if he was an intruder. It was over. Everything he'd ever believed, that he'd constructed in his head, was turned upside down. He wasn't the special one. His sister wasn't being kept away. She wasn't the one to feel sorry for. He wasn't the one looking down at her out of pity. His life was transformed. Now that his father didn't even need to hide it anymore, he began to interact only with the little sister. His little sister still wouldn't say anything. She just kept staring at the floor like always. With that same attitude that seemed like she wanted to escape his gaze, she said.
ごめんなさい兄さん
She said it with the same sympathy that he once directed at her. He laughed. He guffawed like there was no tomorrow. It was so hilarious he wanted to break everything. The girl he'd thought of as a plaything was the real master, while he was a clown all along. Was he the crazy one or her? Probably both. His life shattered and he went back to the house. He realized something. It wasn't as if the world suddenly got turned around. His environment was always this way. The only one who had it backwards, who misunderstood, was himself. He realized how wretched he was. He had it all wrong from the beginning. The next 3 years were nothing but pain for him. His father died and his grandfather only paid attention to his sister. Shinji Mato is no different from the heir inside the mansion. He was treated like it didn't matter whether he was there or not. In fact, that's all he was worth. And she sympathized with him. She said sorry. She didn't necessarily say it out loud, but she apologized every time they saw each other. She apologized for taking Shinji Mato's place.
何を謝っているんだよ
She should have just ignored him. Then he would have lost his dignity and he wouldn't feel any hope. Sakura would apologize. That only made him feel like there was no outlet for everything he was feeling.
僕はお前の優しい兄なんだ他の誰よりも頼れるただ一人の兄なんだぞ
In light of his humiliation, surely there was nothing wrong with him treating her this way.
なんだあいつまだエミヤんところに嫌がるのかお前はマトウの後継者だぞマトウの後継者だぞ尊きマトウの後継者なんだぞ
The room shows no signs of being lived in. That went without saying. To Sakura Mato, her only bedroom was that underground nest, while this room was just for appearances. She wouldn't care no matter how much he messed up the room or how many things he broke. It won't change the fact that her name is the one on the door.
ああそれなのに謝るんだよなお前はごめんなさいごめんなさいってさじゃあさすまないと思うんなら僕の言うことだけを素直に聞けよ罪の意識そんなもの知ったことかマトウ家の人間って自覚があるなら兄の言うことを聞くのは妹として当然のことだろう
He tears off the bedsheets. She belonged to him. She never defied him, never thought for herself. She just lived here, so why did she leave him now?
お前が取ったんだぞエミヤ
That was a miscalculation on his part. He knew that she was attracted to Shiro Emiya. Before they met, she never had any interests, but she started to think like a human being once she met Shiro Emiya. Then she gradually recovered her personality, until she left Shinji. After all the trouble he went through to act like a nice older brother, how could she go with that stranger Shiro Emiya and not him?
だから言ったんだあいつの家にやるのは良くないってなのにあのジジイエミヤは監視しなくてはならんとかふざけたこと言いやがって
Their grandfather never made any effort to bring Sakura home after giving the order. He just said to let her be, and even warned Shinji to restrain himself.
見ていろ必ず償わせてやるぞエミヤお前はサクラの見ている前で引き裂いてやる
That's right. If Sakura was going to leave him, then he'd just force her back into their old relationship. If she was going to leave the Mato family for him.
ああ昔みたいにさまた昔みたいになればいいだけじゃないか
He cackles. His reflection in the cloudy window is as ghastly as a skull. I'm just wondering, was that supposed to make me feel something for him, learning his backstory? I just fucking hate him even more now. Fuck Shinji Mato. Worthless piece of fucking garbage. It's evening now. Tosaka seems busy and Sakura is asleep, so I'll make dinner. My left arm can move, albeit slowly, so it shouldn't stop me from cooking simple meals.
カジキの唐揚げと、あとは肉じゃがかな、これは。
I check what we have in the refrigerator and decide on tonight's menu. With 2 new mouths to feed, our ingredients go quickly. I'll have to make some time tomorrow to go downtown for groceries. Everyone seems excited to see that dinner's ready and waiting for them in the living room. I wonder where Ryder is, but she likely has her reasons for being absent. Ryder's priority is to protect Sakura. Maybe she doesn't want to have too much contact with Tosaka, who could become an enemy.
後で食べに来るかな、ライダー。
If she doesn't come over, I'll pack a meal and bring it to her later. She doesn't seem to like being around other people, so she's probably in the shed or the dojo.
へえ、シロってこういうのが得意なんだ。さくらは洋食で、シロは和食派ってこと？
Tosaka looks at me with surprise as she munches on the fried fish. I fried the marlin fillets golden brown and made an elegant soy sauce marinade that brings out the fragrance of ginger. Tosaka seems fond of it.
私はこっちのが好きよ。シロがお料理上手で嬉しいわ。
Next to her, Ilya is enjoying a mouthful of savory sweet beef stew. It's too bad that I didn't have any potatoes on hand, but I'm glad that she likes it. But Sakura's holding her chopsticks looking confused.
さくら、どうした？食欲ないのか？
あ、食欲はあるんですけど、その先輩、この肉じゃがお砂糖入ってませんよ。味付けが変です。
ね。
Did I really make such a rookie mistake with beef stew of all things?
ちょっと待った。
I taste the beef stew from the pot in the middle of the table. That's odd. This is how I always season it.
さくら、なんか変かな、これ。
変ってこれお砂糖と塩が逆になってませんか？甘みが全くないんですけど。
そう？肉じゃがってこういう味でしょ？そりゃ隠し味らしきものが入ってるから他のとは違うけど、ちょっと真似できない味よ、これ。
私は初めてだからわからないけど、美味しいよ。ちょうどいい甘さで食べやすいし。
Sakura pokes at her beef stew with a puzzled expression. She takes one bite, and a second, then a third.
さくら。
なんか味付けの薄いところを選んじゃったみたいです。変なこと言ってごめんなさい。先輩のご飯は今日も美味しいです。
She laughs and resumes eating. Sakura moves her chopsticks as if nothing happened. Got a little nervous when she started looking off, but then she regained her spirits. With gusto, she even asked for a third helping. Tosaka watched in surprise as Sakura kept eating with delight until we finished all the food and rice. I could yell at you too. It's after 10 p.m. now.
時間ね。そろそろ行くわよ、シロ。
Tosaka appears ready to leave.
分かってる。それじゃあ留守番頼むぞ、さくら。
Tosaka and I will go out on patrol as planned. It sounds stupid to think that we can fight back against Zoken by patrolling the town, but that's all we can do at the moment. The enemies we have to beat are Zoken, Assassin, Saber, and that mysterious Shadow. To be honest, there's no way we can beat them in a straight fight. I just have to be patient while Tosaka comes up with countermeasures. Despite that, we can't stay cooped up in the house. As the news said this morning, Zoken has started attacking civilians. We might not be able to beat him now, but I don't think it's a waste to try and prevent more people from falling victim. I put on my shoes without saying anything. Both of us know how dangerous it is to go out at night. Even if Zoken is only after Sakura, he might consider it a nuisance if we're walking around town. In the worst case, what happened in the forest might happen again. The thought doesn't make me very talkative.
ちょっと、どういうつもりよ、あなた。
And then, I'm not in the mood even for a serious talk, but I look up to see Tosaka staring at me.
見送りなら結構よ。おとなしく部屋に戻っていなさい、さくら。
Staring through me, to be exact. She's glaring at Sakura, who's standing in the hallway.
姉さん、やっぱり私も一緒に行きます。姉さんと先輩だけじゃ夜で歩くのは危険だから。
さくら。
So that's why she's here. I appreciate the sentiment, but we have to stick to the plan.
ダメだ。造剣の狙いはさくらだって分かってるだろ。さくらはイリアと一緒にここで身を守っていてくれ。
それは分かっています。けど先輩は片手が動かないし、姉さんだってもうサーバントがいないし、
ふざけないでさくら。あなたが私たちの敵であることは変わらないのよ。そんないつ造剣の手駒になるかわからないやつに背中なんて預けられない。
けど姉さん、
あなたはあなただけ守っていればいいのよ。私たちに少しでもすまないって思うんならこんなことで手を煩わせないでちょうだい。あなたはライダーに自分とイリアを守らせておくだけでいいんだから。
遠坂、お前
ほら、ぼーっとしてないで行くわよ。こんなことをしている間にも犠牲者が出てるかもしれないんだから。
Tosaka grabs my hand and pulls me out of the house.
ともかく気をつけて留守番してるんだぞ、さくら。イリアのことは任せたからな。おい待てってば遠坂、ちゃんとついてくからいい加減手を離せ。
ぐずぐずしてるそっちが悪いんでしょ。
Tosaka releases my hand and stops power walking.
何よその顔。言いたいことがあるならはっきり言ったら。
She's being like this now, all rushed and weirdly belligerent. Good grief. If you're that self-conscious about it, then you didn't need to use that tone with her, idiot.
じゃあ言うぞ遠坂、さっきのことだけどさくらにあんまりきついこと言うな。さくらだって好きであんな体なわけじゃないんだ。
分かってるわよ。けどだからこそはっきり言わないといけないでしょ。半端な態度を取ったらそれこそ造形につけ込まれるだけでしょ。私はさくらに同情していない。だって造形の操り人形とかマトウに引き取られたこととか、そんなの私には関わりのないことだもの。あの子自身の問題に私が口を出してもしょうがないしね。
遠坂、
いい？私があの家にいるのはさくらじゃなくてあなたがいるからよ。私の目的は聖杯であってさくらを助けることじゃない。そのためにはさくらを監視するし嫌われたって構わない。だからさっきみたいなことも言うし、これからもさくらを敵として扱うんだから。
じゃあ遠坂はさくらに嫌われても構わないっていうのか。今は赤の他人だから関係ないって。
そうよ。それに文句があるの、あなたは。
バカ、そんなのあるに決まってるだろ。
It's so like Tosaka. She's normally so bold and decisive, but right now I can see her clenching her fist and trying her best to convince herself.
分かった。遠坂がそう振る舞うって言うなら好きにしろ。遠坂がどんな態度を取ったところで気持ちはちゃんとさくらに伝わってるんだしな。
伝わるってどういうことよ。
だからお前がどのくらいさくらを大切に思ってるかってこと。部外者である俺でも気がつくんだからさくらにはもろバレだ。
誤解よ。私はただその。
誤解も何もない。人間どうでもいいやつに真剣には怒れない。遠坂がさくらに厳しいのはそういうことだろ。口にはしないけどお前の中じゃさくらは今でも大事な妹なんだ。
何言ってんのよ バカ、やめてよね、そういう歯の浮くこと言うの。
Tosaka is so angry she becomes red in the face. But it doesn't have its usual impact, which tells me enough.
なんだ、迷惑か、こういうの。
迷惑よ、当たり前でしょ、そんなの。
そうか。じゃあ迷惑ついでに言っとく。俺は遠坂と桜には仲良くしてもらいたい。桜は遠坂が好きで、遠坂だって桜が好きなんだから、今みたいにぎこちないのは気に食わない。
あのね、私はさくらを敵として見てるのよ。仲良くなっても仕方ないし、それに第一、今さらどうやって仲良くなれって言うのよ、あんたは。
どうやってって、今のままでいいんじゃないか。自信持てよ遠坂。お前、俺から見てもいいお姉さんだぞ。
無駄話はここまでよ。とりあえず今朝のニュースでやってた現場に行くんだから。
Tosaka spins on her heel and stomps off. I follow her with an absent-minded, sure, sure. But then,
シロ、
she says my name without looking at me.
ありがとう。今のなんか嬉しかった。
And grumbles embarrassed. Aww. There's no one at the Central Park. It isn't particularly crowded even during the day, and now it's extra quiet after last night's murders. The park wasn't built as a place to rest between office buildings. It's no different from an undeveloped wasteland.
殺人事件か。世間じゃ事件じゃなく事故って扱いみたいだけどね。まあ確かに誰が死んで体のどこがなくなったのかいまいちわからないんじゃ、殺人って呼び方も怪しいか。
There are still bloodstains on the grass. Quite a lot of blood spilled in 4 separate areas. There's some distance from the blackened ground, probably because the victims tried to run away.
遠坂、お前はこれが造剣の仕業じゃないって言ったけど、どうだ、現場に来て印象は変わったか。
そうね、あの黒い影の仕業かと思ったけど、ちょっと違うみたい。あいつが出ると辺りのマナーを軒並み飲み込んでいくでしょ。けどここ一帯の魔力は枯渇していない。まあここで起きたことが予定外の食事だろうって見方は変わらないわ。
That's how I managed to learn from the scene. We leave the site of the tragedy. We don't find anything else of note in Shinto. Given how conspicuous last night's incident was, it's possible that Zokin's group is trying to keep a low profile tonight. It's almost midnight. Tosaka and I head home, feeling a cool breeze from the riverbank. I ask her a question on the way.
遠坂、桜、マトの後継者なんだよな。
I've been curious about something for a while.
何よ今さら、もう隠し事なんてないわよ。
いや、そうじゃなくて、後継者ってことは桜も魔術師なんだよな。なら桜はどんな魔術を使うんだろうって。
ああ、そういうこと。そうね、マトウの魔術は戒めとか強制とかそういうものだって聞くけど、レイジュだってマトウがいなかったらできなかったって言うし。
じゃあ桜の魔術は制約なのかな。だけどそれだと。
That day, the magecraft that Sakura unleashed when the crest forms were attacking her must have been Ryder's power.
制約ではないと思う。それはマキリの禁呪であって得意とする魔術じゃないもの。まあ考えたところで意味ないわよ。さくらには魔術を使うだけの魔力がないもの。そんな余分な力真っ先に刻印中に食べられるんだから、魔術は組み立てられないはずよ。
そうか、それならいい。で、遠坂から見て桜ってどれぐらいの腕前なんだ。マトウの後継者ってことは同じぐらいなのか。
魔術回路の数で言うなら私と同じぐらいよ。シロ、私たちが姉妹ってこと忘れたの？
Right, now that she mentions it. That's why the Matos adopted her to begin with.
じゃあやっぱり遠坂と同じぐらい。
どうかしらね。私が五大元素でさくらは架空元素だったらしいわ。けどマトウは水属性だから無理やりそっちに変えられたのよ。鳥としてなら大空を飛べたものを無理やり海中に入れたらどうなると思う？
It'd weaken her greatly.
死ぬか、それとも。
そう、海中に適応する体を得るだけで精一杯よ。遠坂でなら大成しただろうけど、無理やりマトウにさせられたさくらは白と変わらないわ。うんうん、体を鍛えてある分あなたの方が何倍も強いでしょうね。
じゃあ仮に遠坂と桜が魔術戦をすれば
Tosaka would be the victor.
10回中10回私の勝ち。さくらの魔力量じゃ私の防壁を突破できない。
I see. I don't know what kind of magecraft Sakura can use, but her power dynamic with Tosaka is clear. Tosaka isn't the type to brag, so she's probably just stating the facts.
けど恥ずかしいな。桜が魔術師だったことにも気づかなければ桜の腕前もわからない。これで桜の保護者を気取ってたなんてとんだ大バカ者だ。
あのね、さくらは体内の魔力を刻印虫に食べられちゃうんだから、そばにいても魔術師だってわからないわよ。それにあの子はあなたにだけはバレないようにって頑張ってきたのよ。だからそんなこと間違っても本人の前で口にしないでよね。
Yeah, don't need to tell me twice. Even if Sakura is a mage, she's still Sakura. I'm not sophisticated enough to play games with her anyway. No matter who she is, all I can do is treat her the same way I always have.
そうだな。遠坂がそれでいいって言うんなら俺は今までと同じように桜とやっていく。魔術師として手を貸してもらおうなんて思わないけどそれでいいんだな。
もちろんよ。あなたがさくらに頼ろうなんて言い出したら、その時はさくらを私の家に連れ戻してたところ。
The way she says it so gently with a smile makes my heart skip a beat. See? You're a great big sister, Tosaka.
けどそれも無理かな。さくら、あなたの家だと笑うんだもの。昨日から何が驚いたかって、それが一番驚いたわ。
That was a surprise. The thought seems to make Tosaka so happy.
笑うって桜はその
That's how she always is.
ええ、私の取り越し苦労だったけどね。そのさ、私はさくらとはあんまり話せないから、その代わりに暇さえあれば見てたのよ。あの子が私と同じ学園に入ってからは毎日のように弓道部に入り浸ってたし。
ああそれは知ってるけど。
うん、それでね、しばらく経ってから気がついたのよ。あの子一度も笑ってないって。
That sounds pretty believable, even though I'm only hearing it for the first time. Now that I think about it, Sakura's always pretty gloomy at school.
まあそれもあなたがいる時だけは別だったけど、たまにシロウが弓道部に来た時はさくらだって笑ってた。要するにさくらが元気な時はエミやシロウが目の前にいる時だけなのよ。
Tosaka is saying something that should make me happy. But somehow...
桜、人前では笑わないのか。
I feel like I just learned a terrible truth about her. It's past 1 in the morning by the time I'm back in my bedroom. I plopped down on my futon. Tonight's patrol was fruitless. All we learned was that the story on the morning news was true. The enemy I have to defeat. To be honest, when I think about that thing I'll have to fight eventually, it gives me chills and it makes me want to vomit. Zoken and Assassin are opponents that a human can still fight. But the other two aren't. I'm not even sure if the Shadow can die. As for Saber, I don't have a chance of hell in beating her. But now that innocent people are dying, it doesn't matter whether I can win or not.
アーチャーの腕か。
I touch the red cloth around my left arm. I do have a weapon. I don't know how well it'll work, but it's still a weapon. The question is whether I can master it and whether I'll be able to survive using it.
少しだけなら大丈夫だよな。
I unwrap the red cloth. My blood starts to flow as soon as I loosen the binding. Suddenly, I feel like I hear a beast howling. Something stabs me. It's stabbing me throughout my body. Is this pain? If it is, then no pain I felt before counts as pain anymore. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. The uneven tatami, my bed's softness hurts me. I feel like I'm sitting on a hill of swords. The air is toxic and I die 3 times from breathing it. A bird chirps in the distance. The wind is strong. There's no humidity. My skin dries out and turns to sand. It flows and slows away. I crumble. Hot stakes stab me through the exposed holes. 32 of them through my shoulder. Each of them delicately, meticulously, excellently, precisely skewers my internal jugular vein, trachea, spinal cord, sympathetic nerves, bilateral upper, middle, and lower lobes, aorta, heart, diaphragm, spleen, stomach, liver, and all 8 sections of my large intestine. I'm crumbling. Time slows at a frightening pace. I watch 60 trillion cells crumble at a rate of 340 per second. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is only terror. The credits roll, invading with astonishing speed. The flashback stops on a maniacal image. The death to come. The death in the past. The death happening now. The pain isn't a physical pain, but a burst of rejection each time death strikes me. I hear a noise. I'm on my knees. It's the sound of my head hitting the floor. My eyes are hot. I realize I've been crying. I desperately stop a scream from escaping my throat. I curl up into a ball, tuck my head into my stomach, and clutch my left arm in my right hand, weeping. I'm scared. I haven't felt this since the fire 10 years ago. I'm scared. It's the dread that every living creature feels. I'm scared. For the first time in my life, I want to escape my own doom. I don't reject death because it hurts, nor because I want to live. It just scares me. I tie the red cloth back on. I knot it over and over so that it'll never come loose again. I was sobbing. The priest said I'd die if I used my left arm. That's bullshit. I'll die if I even take off the shroud. My body might be able to take it, but my mind will go first. Even slightly loosening it and exposing the skin to the air was enough of a mental ordeal. If I couldn't even endure that, then I can't possibly live without the shroud. No. If this arm is a contradictory thing that no one should touch, then it's too late. My body is already a train on an abandoned and condemned railroad track running to its final stop. A ship with a crack in its hull sinking to the ocean depths with no one to save it. Only the passengers are unaware. By the time they notice, it's already too late. My breathing is ragged. I was having a bad dream. I wipe sweat from my forehead. I can't even stand up. I just stay curled up, bearing this pain I don't understand in my head I don't understand. I can't remember. My left arm hurts. It hurts so bad I wish I didn't have a left arm. I try to remember why it hurts so much, but I can't remember how I was feeling just a second ago. The pain recedes. I managed to bundle up my disjointed mind. It must have been because I was sleeping. My scattered memories feel like chopped onions that should cook nicely if I organized them. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. See? A drizzle of soy sauce for color, some pepper for flavor, and a pinch of potato starch for bringing the mess all together.
まずそう、それ。
I mumble absently. My useless head, that only knows how to help other people so much it's a nuisance, comes up with one conclusion. I don't have to eat something that doesn't look tasty. I lost it already. It doesn't make sense to rely on something that isn't there. Therefore, Shiro Emiya has no weapon. He has to suppress this alien thing as long as he lives, and it'll taint him for the rest of his life. It's futile to restrain it with this cloth. There's only one way to truly escape this poison. Just cut it off. I know that, but I can't bear to let it go. The muzzle of a gun points at my temple. I imagine its trigger. The left arm is the trigger. Once I pull it, it'll operate as designed and blow my brains out. I'm trembling. In the dim light, I hold my breath and stare at the blank wall. I hold my left arm tight again and fall back down. I close my eyes. I stifle my pathetic moans. It's time to sleep so I can be rested tomorrow. I hear a small noise. I wake up to the sound of footsteps in the wooden hallway. I wake up my hazy mind. It isn't quite 2 a.m. Less than 30 minutes have passed since I went to bed. I squirm out of my futon, unconsciously holding my left arm.
Sakura.
She's outside my room. I call out the source of the noise outside my door. I didn't sense her outside. I just had a feeling that she was there. The door slides open. Sakura dreamily steps into my room. She stares at the ground, biting her lip in shame, unsure of what to say.
ごめんなさい先輩。私
She apologizes to me as if blaming herself. But I should be the one apologizing. I know full well why she's here. It's the pain of her body panting in thirst.
帰ったらすぐにさくらのところに行くべきだった。苦しい思いをさせてごめんな。
I stand up. Even if I apologize, I can't be forgiven for getting so wrapped up in my left arm that I forgot about Sakura's condition.
先輩。
分かってる。さくらの準備ができているんならすぐに始めよう。
Sakura nods, blushing. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, but maybe Sakura sees the act of drinking blood as something immoral.
でも
She looks down with a troubled expression. Oh, right. We can't get anything done this way. She bit my finger before, but we can share my blood a smarter way this time.
ちょっと待ってくれ。机に確か。
I stand up and go to the desk. Suddenly, my left arm moves.
先輩大丈夫ですか？
いや、なんでもない。ちょっと立ちくらみがしただけだ。
Damn, I'm pathetic. As soon as I used my left arm, I remembered my earlier pain. It doesn't hurt as long as I keep the cloth on, so what am I afraid of?
よし、あった。
With my right hand, I rummage around in a desk drawer and pull out a box cutter. I extend the blade to make sure it isn't chipped or dull. If Sakura isn't going to bite me, then I need to draw blood myself. This would be easier if I had a syringe or some tubing, but unfortunately I don't. So the fastest way to draw blood would be to cut myself.
よしって
My right hand holds the box cutter. My left hand is wrapped in the cloth surrounding my left arm. I'm doing something foolish. If I'm holding the cutter in my right hand, that means I'd have to cut my left. But if it hurt that much after just loosening the cloth, cutting it is clearly out of the question. Still, my left hand isn't dexterous enough to make short, precise movements while holding anything thin. I consider what to do next. I hear the echoes of a howl. It tells me that it still isn't too late. That this arm is too heavy a burden to bear. Think. Remember how much you suffered just from loosening the cloth. It isn't too late. You have a blade. It's going to keep invading your body for the rest of your life, and it'll be a constant struggle to keep it in check. You'll have to live with it, never knowing when the bomb you're carrying might go off. So you might as well take that knife and cut off the timer at least. I freeze, still holding the box cutter. I told myself I wouldn't have any more doubts, but they were all resurrected as soon as I picked up this blade. My heart beats a cold and mechanical rhythm, and my eyes lose focus.
先輩
Her voice breaks me out of the chains. I put down the knife and take a deep breath.
悪い。少し考え事をしてた。どうでもいいことだから気にしないでくれ。
そうなんですか。でも先輩顔色が。
ちょっと胸焼けがしてるだけだ。今の桜に比べたら大したことじゃないさ。待ってろ。この程度の傷ならすぐに。
I slightly move the box cutter. The pain is just a slight pinch. No big deal.
よし。これなら。
Blood leaks out, brighter than I expected. Now Sakura can... I drop the box cutter. Sakura stares at my wound, at the red liquid trickling down my arm. She's wearing a slack expression. It's like she was never scared to begin with. Her eyes look like she's in a trance. Her lips are half parted, and her pale throat gulps with desire. She gets on all fours and crawls over to my futon toward me. She reminds me of a graceful four-legged beast.
桜。
I don't know how to react to this sudden change. I just extend my arm, blood dripping from its wrist, to Sakura. A drop of blood falls from my fingertip. It falls on her soft, wet lips. Her tongue flicks out, lapping up each drop. Spellbound, Sakura licks my finger. I feel the smooth texture of her tongue on my finger. I don't even notice the pain. It's happening again. That irresistible feeling is coming.
おいしい。先輩。
Sakura looks beautiful and bewitching as she licks my arm. Her scent enters my mind and arouses me. Any fear she showed earlier is long gone. It's like she's licking honey. Her lips draw closer to the cut. They cover the wound, which had been leaking blood. I'm struck by indescribable pleasure. My shoulders go so limp I think my arms might fall off. It's an enchanting sweetness unlike when she was only licking me. I grit my teeth, keeping my voice down. My blood is taken and pleasure flows into its place. The pain of the wound is hazy, and I can barely even register what's happening to my right arm. Sakura sucks on my arm, draining it dry. I know she's just doing it to recover her magical energy, but it's so sweet. Even her murmuring voice resonates with my nerves. The ecstasy of having my blood sucked reaches my shoulder, and the discomfort and fear of my left arm is drowned out by the pleasure in my right. Before I know it, I'm embracing her. I use the arm that Sakura is sucking on to pull her in and hold her against my chest. Sakura continues slaking her thirst, savoring my blood.
先輩。私の先輩。
More than her soft body, I'm drunk on the touch of her lips on my arm, on the honeyed pleasure of it being drained. An indescribable impulse rises in my chest. I want to hug Sakura until she breaks. She sucks it all up. The sensation of having not just my blood but my vitality sucked away as well. In my pleasure-dyed, hazy mind. I feel like this reminds me of something. It doesn't matter. I don't care about those misgivings. How long did we stay like this? Sakura reluctantly pulls her lips from my arm. My head feels heavy. It still feels like Sakura is sucking on me. It's like my mind is floating in the air. Still, I try to see if Sakura is okay. Sakura dropped her gaze apologetically. Then I feel the last drop of tension leave me as I've used up all my magical and physical strength. The lights go off in my head with a zap. I can't think about what comes after. I can't remember Sakura's gentle touch on my arm or the pleasure of having my blood drained. Like giving my blood to Sakura was just a dream. I fall into a deep slumber. My thoroughly exhausted body forgets it all. How Sakura treated my cut when back to her room. The anxiety lingering in the back of my mind, everything that's happened tonight. I fall back into the light sleep I was in 1 hour ago. Another red interlude. It is in a sea of red. Water covers the familiar landscape, making the town seem like a fish tank. There is no air. Each time it breathes, something dark coils in its throat. It craves oxygen, but the harder it tries to breathe, the more heavy air fills its lungs like water. So it's not different from being in the ocean. It pants, feeling suffocated. It was meant to live on land. It wasn't born in the sea. Seeking to exit the water, it climbs toward the highest place in town. Still, it feels breathless. Looking down at the vast cityscape, its throat burns due to lack of oxygen, and its suffering causes it to despise the peacefully sleeping city. Can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe. There is no air here. There is no pain here. Can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe. It's dragging something. The body is bewitchingly slippery and colorful. Can't breathe, not enough, can't breathe. Dark hands gather several corpses. Crooked hands squeeze several corpses. Not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. With a squishing noise, something splashes all over it. It lacks oxygen. It's hard to breathe oxygen. The water pressure doesn't care. The water pressure is unbearable. Flowing liquid covers its body. Most likely, it believes that this is the waterproof suit it needs to survive in this ocean. It reaches out with its warped hands. Moonlit, dark hands become a giant shadow, descending to crush part of the town. She wakes from her sleep. She gasps for air. Aghast at the shockingly realistic dream, she hugs her burning hot body. Suddenly, she feels something wet. Both of her hands are covered in dark red. She shuts her eyes and thrusts her hands away from herself. When she warily opens them again, her hands are clean. Even if it was just a hallucination, she can't stop shaking. She trembles with fear, shuddering like a broken machine. The shaking might cause the rattling bolts in her ears to fall out. She imagines all of her insides falling out one by one until she's lost too many parts to move anymore. The visual terrifies her so badly she can't stop shaking. She goes to the bathroom. She can't take more than a few steps. Her trembling limbs won't obey her. She nearly falls over, bracing herself on a desk. Her vision is hazy. She can't walk to the door or even see it clearly. She can't remember what she was just dreaming about or why she got out of bed. She's breaking. She can't remember anything. Oh boy. She can't think of anything. All she feels is desire and hunger. All she wants are warm bodies and kind, gentle words. She slumps against the desk, shaking her head. She's filled with fear and boundless self-loathing. Something's wrong with her. She knows something is wrong with her. Why isn't it enough? She got more than just a few hours ago. She got more just a few hours ago, but it isn't enough at all. She was so happy, thinking there must be no greater joy on earth. So why isn't it even close to enough? It must be because of how hollow and empty she is. That's why he isn't enough to fill her up. But she doesn't want anyone else to fill her up. That's why she wanted to keep becoming his, forever and ever. She thought it would be fine if her feelings, if other people, if it all went away. So why didn't she make it happen? It's so mysterious, but she can't help not knowing why. So she naturally thought that it might be able to do it for her. She's giddy. It isn't some strange delusion. Just for an instant, she thought that sounded fun. And that terrifies her. She steadies herself on the table. Her body feels like it's about to fall apart, but she hangs on. Day by day, the scary dreams are becoming clearer. Day by day, the scary dreams stop being scary. That's why she's starting to break. Until now, it was only her body. But now her mind is starting to go. She mumbles and weeps, biting her lip. It's fine if her memories are vague. She doesn't need to remember what happened a few hours ago. Her limbs won't listen to her. She isn't afraid of falling asleep forever. But she doesn't want to stop being herself. She doesn't want to be a bad person. She'll keep going crazy bit by bit until she finally snaps. Once that happens, she's sure that she'll be the greatest cause of his suffering. She's afraid of that. She's afraid of going crazy. It terrifies her more than anything else so far. If she loses it, he won't touch her anymore. He won't love her anymore. They won't be able to be together anymore, and she won't even know when they are. That's not all. If she goes insane, he'll be with some other woman. She doesn't want that. Not at all. She always thought that he deserved someone better, but now she can't allow it to happen. After all, he already belongs to her. So she's afraid. Afraid of not knowing what she'll do once it happens. She knows how bad things are, and there's no way out. She can't tell anyone about her problem. If she does, she'll just end up back in the cold place she was before. She can't go back there, now that she's known warmth. She wants more. To be here with him, and smile at him. She knows full well what she'll lose if this goes on. Her wish is a simple desire. For her own happiness, she has to ruin the one and only person who wants her to become happy. If she can't do that, then she'll just keep breaking where no one can see her. If she's going to go crazy anyway, then she might as well disappear now and turn into a monster while no one else is around. Surely that's the right choice. But she clings to it. Because she's warm. Because she's happy. Because she wants more. Why me, she wonders. Why is she the only one who has to be cut off from such simple wants? She shakes off her weakness. She isn't jealous. She doesn't resent anyone. She defends herself. She just wants a little more time. She shakes her head in denial. In her empty head, she covers her dark heart. There's no off-ramp to happiness on this road. She turns away from an answer she already knows. Her clouded mind has long since fallen into a nightmare. She forces herself to stop wishing for someone to help her. She just keeps crying alone. Jeez. I feel so bad for Sakura. Alright, well, I'll end things off here for today, and in the next one we'll head on into day 12. So, I'll see you all then. Bye.